Ready? Stand by. Really good. Stand by, record, and reaction.
After the stock slowly boil, so next is to add up some milk. Can you please pour half of milk, please?
Any preference, sir?
Half of that.
Any preference on the milk?
No, it
Any
has to be
brand?
milk. No.
Full cream milk.
Full cream milk.
So any milk with 3% fat.
Okay.
Let's go.
Please pour it.
Activate?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I will.
Because we want you to participate
Is that enough?
a little bit more. Okay, that's enough. So this is where you become the base become white color, and later on we finish up with cream, then you have the creamy base.
I see.
Okay. Look at that. And there's another thing I need you to do next is to blend this together very, very fine. Okay. Let me get the blender out for you.
That's very easy.
What's the scoop in?
So later probably you add the other one, right?
The cream.
Yeah,
The cream, yes. When we seasoning it.
So why must I say always do that?
That's a bad habit that I have.
I know.
That's a bad habit that I have. No, for me, in my mind, the reason why I'm going to share it with you guys now, because people ask me all the time on Instagram, kenapa chef selalu ketuk-ketuk? So for me, it's just that we're already cooking and stirring, right? And then we have food bits stuck
Yeah.
here. So the moment it's stuck there, it's not cooking together with everything else. And I just don't want to waste anything. I want it to be perfect. So perfection requires.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Well, I did the same thing as well when my mom used to cook, and then lastly kan like, dia tu kata nak ada aku kerja ketuk dah. You know this kind of
That's-
thing.
Nasib baik I turun, so tak apa.
Bagi cinta wanita.
So orang
So orang pun
Okay, that is done.
Okay.
So next is Michael, would you please pour this in so she can blend it for us?
Yes, chef.
Okay.
Go lepas sikit, lepas sikit.
Yeah. Sorry.
Blend lepas sikit, and yeah, great, perfect. And yeah.
Look at that.
Oh my God.
Yummy.
Okay. I think we got most of it. Yeah, that's fine. There you go. So now it's up to you to do the blending. Michael, would you please plus the rest?
It's too much, I don't need to do.
Because it's hot, kan?
It's hot. Okay, we call this add-on later.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be okay. That's fine. Because there's a trick to this when you use the blender.
Okay, stand by, let's continue. And
Okay,
Action.
use the blender. You know what's the function of the pulse in the blender?
No.
Because this is quite warm. If you just go straight to one,
Yeah.
it might just
Oh, okay.
splatter out. So you hold the lid, you just slowly. Oh, it's not on. Well,
action.
Alright, we are going to start with our first dish with Mimi Wahedah. You're now watching Lunch with the Nicks. And what are we making, Danny?
we are making cream of mushroom soup, which is very popular in Malaysia.
So we've made, sorry?
Very popular, very common, and I love mushroom soup.
Ah, great.
Yes.
That beautiful earthy flavor with some garlic bread on the
Yes.
side is amazing. It's a classic combination.
This is the style of the show today, right? Butter mushroom.
Butter
So, what do we need to do? Please switch on the fire. Alright,
On the fire, that's the first step.
switch on the fire. And next thing is, you know, put in the oil.
So basically, it's olive oil.
Olive oil. Very simple. It's not much oil.
Okay.
The key ingredient is the mushroom and the stock. So it's the olive, cream, and the okay.
So for this kind of sauteing, you don't need to use extra virgin olive oil. Virgin olive oil or plain light olive oil is workable as well. In goes the onions.
So the onion.
But in terms of the oil, can use like other oil instead of olive oil?
I would recommend that you use a type of oil that can withstand high temperatures, just for the beginning part of the saute, and also something that's flavorless and odorless.
I see.
So grapeseed oil is a great choice as well.
Okay, now we need to put the onion in, then the garlic. So it doesn't have to be chopped, but you just tiny slices.
Can you just crush crush it?
You can crush it, but you make sure that you have to slice it as well.
I see.
Otherwise, it won't go soft. And the mushrooms will need slicing.
Okay. But I love when you saute an onion, the smell of it, and the wow.
Garlic and oil.
Yeah.
You know that's good enough. The garlic. Let that roast a little bit more. In the meantime, we got the garlic's done.
Yes.
And next we need to chop the
The mushroom.
mushroom. I think this one you can do.
Is there any way of chopping the mushroom or?
I want to say how you do it first.
Well,
How do you normally do chop the mushroom?
No, do you want it diced or do you want it minced or sliced? What do you want?
I want it
Slice.
Slice.
Yeah, you want it sliced.
How thick would you like that? You gotta ask the right questions, right?
Okay, let me try.
Careful, the knife is very sharp.
Yeah.
Is that alright?
Yeah, I think you're good. But for safety, because it's not sharp knife, you catch your finger when you hold it. So you should put your finger like this.
Okay.
The nail do the work so that
I see.
see this? The knife touching the hand. So it is. And for mushroom, you don't you just hold it like
You know Danny, you're the expert.
not really,
So
but
why don't you do it, right?
So would you like to try 3 more?
Let me try. Nail, chop it.
Let her be, let her be. She's used to losing the time.
No, it's not that, Danny. It's not that.
Yeah.
I need glasses, so that's why.
Ah!
That's the reason why.
So,
But it's alright. I've been cooking, for the past many years, so basically you can gauge, right?
yes.
Right, Danny?
Yeah, this is a domestic style. How's that coming out, Michael? Should we put the garlic yet?
It's your call anyway. This is what it looks like right now.
Okay, I think you can put
Oh,
the
hold it,
garlic.
hold on. Okay, go.
Now we put the garlic.
Wow, it smells good.
There's onion and garlic in it so far. Wait until we put the thyme. Okay, let me
I think
finish
you
it.
need someone to go.
Okay, so I'll send you on this scene.
Need more olive. Would you pour in the olive oil,
Just a
please?
little bit more. You want to...
Can I just reach out with you?
Yes, please. There we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, basically, orang kena saya lapar dah.
You see? I can chop I'm showing off.
Then you
I'm showing
you
off.
are the expert. So if I do a catwalk on stage, and you have to do that.
Oh, of course I can. I probably will fall down. But by the way, have you ever fallen on stage doing one of your catwalk?
Alhamdulillah, never.
Oh, very
Yeah.
good.
The expert mothers like you.
Oh. But do you remember any embarrassing moment at all while you were modeling?
Yeah, I was walking and I was holding the string back of back. It was like,
Action lah. Cool lah.
It's like jalan like that. And the thing just went back there.
And then?
So after I did that, oh my god, what's happening?
Was it part of the act lah?
It's not.
But you did that as a part. That's professional.
I just walked back and pick it up and walk. Everyone was like clapping.
So next, you get the smell already.
I know.
Okay. So next you put the thyme that you have created.
Hey, please come over here. I want you to smell this. The moment that thyme touches that hot oil,
Smells already.
you see
Now,
this moment?
that's the
Ah.
It immediately just wafts up. Can you smell it already?
Yes, I can.
That time, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to have this later. So since I'm on diet, so this is a good meal for me. Just soup and bread.
Yes, it is. But maybe we've got to hold back a little bit of the cream.
Oh,
Because there's going to be some cream in there.
Correct. So for those out there who actually love mushroom soup and kind of want to be slim like me or Tim, so let's.
Or me.
You notice how shit completely.
So the Gen 1, Gen 2, and the Gen 3. So I will stand in the center then.
How's that coming?
Yes, so you can make this a healthier version without using the cream and milk. Using chicken stock and mushroom also tastes really good.
Yeah.
It's a lighter flavor, but really good to fill up the
Yeah,
stomach.
some people like it more creamier, so they can just add.
Yeah, exactly.
And I season my soup twice. First, when you do the basic one, you put some salt first.
Okay.
A little amount of blender, then you finalize it. What is missing?
Any preferences of
In our kitchen, we normally use sea salt
sea salt?
because
Okay.
it's very, very nice taste. then macam slightly cooking.
I think maybe most chef use all these sea salt, right?
For me, when you're making a soup, there is no point using coarse sea salt. It's better to use fine sea salt or just regular salt, because at the end of the day, you're not going to taste all that crunch from the salt. It's all going to dissolve in the soup, right? So normally, if I do want that crunch from the sea salt, I'll put it on the garlic bread inside, so you still have that salty crunch.
Okay,
and you dip it in the
okay,
soup.
okay.
Exactly.
So like for you, right? So do you actually forced by your dad to be a chef, or you actually like to be a chef?
I get asked this a lot.
That's a great question. I want to see what his answer is.
I get asked this a lot, and I always say that I had no choice. I don't think there was an option there, or I was forced, but it was just, there was no other choice. To me, cooking was just the same thing as learning how to ride a bike, learning how to swim, learning to breathe. So it's...
But because your dad, he's a very good cook, so maybe part of it, maybe during your younger days, so maybe you to assist him. So is that part
Yeah,
of
no, for me it was just a part of regular life, you know. Being good at cooking is something that everyone should have.
So you're not Mr. Mom, right? Just cooking at home and not doing
I'm
anything,
Mr.
right?
Mom.
I know.
I'm Mr. Mom in the
Yeah,
house.
he's busy. He's like traveling here and there. So you are Mr. Mom.
So when he was growing up, when I came back, he was 1.5 years old, so he's a baby. But when I came back, I worked at a bank,
Yes.
not as a chef. So I didn't even know that I was a chef. So I still have to be, you know, once you're a chef, you do is cook. So at home, I do most of it.
And for you, how do you started
Oh,
cooking?
that's a good
So
question.
your mom, so
Actually, I went to Australia.
yes, children, take one.
Yeah, ready.
That one's on.
You can free people. You can free Stand by, here we go, and jaga your space, put, Nikki, and action!
Alright, we're with Mimi Wahedah in the kitchen to begin the skill test. And for today, it's extremely easy.
Sure.
All you have to do is just pluck off the leaves of these thyme herbs here
Yes.
and put it on the plate.
Okay.
But what we want to do is we want to see how many you can do, or how much. What we want to see is how much you can do in 1 minute.
In 1 minute.
In 1 minute. So I have my phone here with the timer ready.
Yes.
Are you ready to go?
Certainly I'm ready.
Begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, it's not that easy.
Okay, put the phone down, bro. And we can share.
Shall we say something about this, or let's struggle with it as
Yeah,
well?
I thought it's kind of easy though.
It is easy.
Oh, maybe I'm not the expert.
This-
That's why I'm not the expert though.
This will be rejected. This will be rejected.
Kesian lah. Well, I know that's why I'm not the chef. You know?
You know, sometimes you go to the door,
Yes.
pull or push, right?
Yes.
It's almost that concept here.
There we go. That's better. You're getting it.
So you have to. It's all about practice, right?
Yes. Yes.
But I find it easier if
Okay, maybe perhaps.
the other way around.
Yeah.
We have 15 seconds left.
How? No. I have to do it
10
my
seconds
way.
left.
I have to do it my way.
Alright.
Okay.
Now change ready.
I'm
55.
I'm a Taurus. I'm a Bull. So I'm very
3,
stubborn. So I'm asking my
2,
way.
1, stop! I am so sorry. I had to stop you there.
Okay, listen. The reason being why it's like this, because when I cook, I don't use a lot of those stuff, so that's why I need less is more. Like,
You don't need a lot. I see, I see.
In fact, in her Instagram, that's the motto. Less is more.
So the lesser we have here, the better it is for us. No, but in all honesty, Mimi, the reason why we're here is not really to pressure you. It's just so that we have a little bit of a warm up before we get into the main kitchen. And now we need to see the quality of your work. That's pretty good, but I have to remove these little stalks
not
there.
too bad for a first timer,
Not too
yes.
bad. But in all honesty, especially when you're cooking at home
Yeah.
with time, there's no time limit. You know, you can do whatever you want as long as it takes. As long as at the end of the day, it tastes good.
Certainly,
Right?
I agree.
So, in fact, for today's dish, our first dish, this is exactly what we need. We don't need any more of that. So you've done our job for us. Thank you so much. But just a tip, Daddy, you want to show her how it's actually done?
Now you can do it.
Yes,
Come on.
Daddy, please, Daddy, show it to me.
I would prefer to do it this way. See? The other way around.
Wow, see, experienced people when you do it gently.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, now it's the other way around. That's why I say I give you a hint.
I
You
know.
push the door or you pull.
Like I said, I'm a bull. I'm very
So you have to go
When you do
against
like
the
that,
grain.
it's faster. It's
Oh,
simple.
okay.
You just hold the top and
So basically, for those out there, these are the secrets. Just follow the experts.
there you go.
Yes.
I think that's the whole reason why people watch the show. Not only because we appreciate our guests,
Yeah.
also we give a few tips that works.
Yes.
But anyway, we've talked too much. Let's go into the kitchen and get ready for our first dish. You gotta stay right here on Lunch with the Nicks.
Cut, okay? Great. Let's go. Action.
Alright, we are going to start with our first dish with Mimi Wahedah. We're now watching Lunch with the Nicks. And what are we making, Daddy?
We are making cream of mushroom soup, which is very popular in Malaysia.
So we've made, sorry?
Very popular, very common, and I love mushroom soup.
Ah, great.
Yes.
That beautiful earthy flavor with some garlic bread on the side
Yes.
is amazing. It's a classic combination.
This is the style of the show today, right? Butter mushroom.
Butter
So, what do we need to do? Please switch on the fire. Alright,
On the fire, that's the first step.
switch on the fire. And next thing is, put in the oil.
So basically, it's olive oil.
Olive oil. Very simple. It's not much oil.
Okay.
The key ingredient is the mushroom and the stock. The garlic, cream, and the okay.
So for this kind of sauteing, you don't need to use extra virgin olive oil. Virgin olive oil or plain light olive oil is workable as well. In goes the onions.
So the onion.
But in terms of the oil, can use like other oil instead of olive oil?
I would recommend that you use a type of oil that can withstand high temperatures, just for the beginning part of the saute, and also something that's flavorless and odorless.
I see.
So grapeseed oil is a great choice as well.
Okay, now we need to put the onion in, then the garlic. So it doesn't have to be chopped, but you just try and slice it.
Can you just crush it?
You can crush it, but you make sure that you have to slice it as well.
I see.
Otherwise, it will go soft. And the mushrooms will need slicing.
Okay. But I love when you saute an onion, the smell of it, and the wow.
Garlic as well,
Garlic,
yeah.
yeah.
And then that's good enough. The garlic. Let that roast a little bit more. In the meantime, we got the garlic's done.
Yes.
And next we need to chop the
The mushroom.
mushroom. I think this one you can do.
Is there any way of chopping the mushroom or?
I want to say how you do it first.
Well,
How do you normally do chop the mushroom?
No, do you want it diced or do you want it minced or sliced? What do you want?
I want it
Slice.
Slice.
Yeah, you want to slice.
How thick would you like that? You gotta ask the right questions, right?
Okay, let me try.
Careful, the knife is very sharp. Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that alright?
Yeah, I think you're good. But for safety, because it's not sharp knife, you catch your finger when you hold it. So you should put your finger like this.
Okay.
The nail do the work so that
I see.
see this? The knife touching the hand. So it is. And for mushroom, you don't. You just hold it like.
You know, Danny, you're the expert.
Not really.
So why don't you do it, right?
So would you like to try 3 more?
Let me try. Nail, chop it.
Let her be, let her be. She's used to using the knife.
No, it's not that. It's not that, Danny. It's not that.
Yeah.
I hate glasses, so that's why.
Ah!
That's the reason why.
So,
But it's alright. It's alright. I've been cooking, for the past many years, so basically you can gauge, right?
yes.
Right, Danny?
Yeah, this is a domestic style. The husband coming out. Michael, should we put the garlic yet?
Yeah, it's your call anyway. This is what it looks like right now.
Okay, I think you can put
Oh,
the
hold it,
garlic.
hold on. Okay, go.
Now we put the garlic.
Wow, it smells good.
There's onion and garlic in so far. Wait until we put the thyme. Okay, let me
I think
finish
you
it.
need someone to go.
Okay, so we I'll thank you for this scene.
Need more olive. Would you pour in the olive oil,
Just
please?
a little bit more. We want to.
Can I just reach out with you?
Yes, please. There we go. Thank you very much.
Yeah, basically, orang kena saya lapar dah lapar.
You see? I can chop what I'm talking. I'm showing off.
Then you
I'm showing
you
off.
are the expert. So if I do a catwalk on stage, and you have to do that.
Oh, of course I can. I probably will fall down. But by the way, have you ever fallen down on stage doing one of your catwalk?
Alhamdulillah, never.
Oh, very
Yeah.
good.
The expert mothers like you.
Oh. But do you remember any embarrassing moment at all while you were normally?
Yeah, I was walking and I was holding the string back of back. It was like, you know,
Action lah. Holding it look cool lah.
It's like jalan jalan. The thing just went back there.
And then?
So after I pretend, oh my god, what's happening?
Was it part of the act lah?
It's not.
I mean, but you pretended as a part. That's professional.
I just walked back and pick it up and walk. Everyone was like clapping.
So next, you get the smell already.
I know.
Okay. So next you put the time that you have created.
Hey, please come over here. I want you to smell this. The moment that time touches that hot oil,
Smells already.
you see
Now,
this moment,
that's the
Ah.
it immediately just wafts up. Can you smell it already?
Yes, I can.
That time, right? Yeah.
So I'm going to give that later. So since I'm on diet, so this is a good meal for me. Just soup and bread.
Yes, it is, but maybe we've got to hold back a little bit of the cream.
Oh,
There's a little bit some cream in there.
correct. So for those out there who actually love mushroom soup and kind of want to be slim like me or Tim, so let's.
Or me.
You notice how she completely.
So the Gen 1, Gen 2, and the Gen 3. So my time was 10 and the 7
How's that coming?
Yes, so you can make this a healthier version without using the cream and milk. Using chicken stock and mushroom also tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
It's a lighter flavor, but really good to fill up the
Yeah,
stomach.
some people like it more creamier, so they can just add.
Yeah, exactly.
And I season my soup twice. First, when you do the basic one, you put some salt first.
Okay.
A little amount of blender, then you finalize it. What is missing?
Any preferences of
In our kitchen, we normally use sea salt.
sea salt?
Because
Okay.
it's very, very nice taste. Then slightly creamy.
I think mainly most chefs use all this sea salt,
Yes.
right?
For me, when you're making a soup, there is no point using coarse sea salt. It's better to use fine sea salt or just regular salt, because at the end of the day, you're not going to taste all that crunch from the salt. It's all going to dissolve in the soup, right? So normally, if I do want that crunch from the sea salt, I'll put it on the garlic bread inside, so you still have that salty crunch.
Okay,
and you dip it
okay,
in the soup.
okay.
Exactly.
So like for you, right? So do you actually forced by your dad to be a chef, or you actually like to be a chef?
I get asked this a lot.
That's a great question. I want to see what is the answer.
I get asked this a lot, and I always say that I had no choice. I don't think there was an option there, or I was forced, but it was just, there was no other choice. To me, cooking was just the same thing as learning how to ride a bike, learning how to swim, learning to breathe. So it's,
But because your dad, he's a very good cook, so maybe part of it, maybe during your younger days, so you used to be and to assist him. So is that part
yeah, no,
of it?
for me, it was just a part of regular life. You know, being good at cooking is something that everyone should have.
So you're not Mr. Mom, right? Just cooking at home and not doing
I'm
anything,
Mr.
right?
Mom.
I know.
I'm Mr. Mom in the
Yeah,
house.
he's busy. It's like traveling here and there. So you are Mr. Mom.
So when he was growing up, when I came back, he was 1 hour, so he's a baby. But when I came back, I worked at a bank,
Yes.
not as a chef. So not many people know that I was a chef. So I still have to keep, once you're a chef, you do is cook. So at home, I do most of it.
And for you, how do you started
Oh,
cooking?
that's a good
So
question.
your mom, so
Actually, I went to Australia. Just a little tip.
Action.
Just a little tip I like to show you in a blender. You know there's a pause?
Yes.
The pulse thing?
Yes, yes.
Because it is hot.
Uh-huh.
If you straight go to 1 or 2, it just bursting out.
Yeah.
So you must feel you wrestle it down and you see that?
Mhm.
That one. Yeah. See?
Ah,
So you
okay.
pass it first. Now we put
I see.
that
So
blender.
it's just burst a little bit,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Unless the picture is very, very messy.
Yeah, I was like wondering like if everything is hot, just put it like in towel on one
I think that's quite fine enough. Michael, could you please put the rest of the liquid in here, please?
Okay, when you blend the mushroom, some people want it to be more finer or a bit.
Yes.
It's up to them, right?
It's up to them how you do it.
But I recommend that
But
you
you like to
always
have a bit of
start
texture.
with a very thick paste.
Paste.
You try to get it as thick as possible here, because when you put it back in the pot and boil it again, when you add the cream or the milk or the
It
salt,
will dilute it.
you can always change the consistency.
Ah.
But always start with a thicker base.
Okay.
A lot of mistakes that people make is they start off too thin. And then to make it thick again, they have to cook more mushrooms and
Correct.
grind it down and put it
Then
in.
to redo the whole thing again.
Exactly.
Okay.
Again. Look at that. See, the thing that when being in a plant is in the kitchen, the first thing you learn is about safety in the kitchen. How to do it in mind, how to place in mind, so that there's no accident. Because when you're busy, just a slight mistake can be very difficult. Especially when you're boiling stuff and also frying stuff.
So that is why most of the chefs have shorter nails. Like just now I learned something new on how to cut a mushroom. Just, you know, put your
Yes.
nails on the mushroom and cut it. Okay. Alright. Got
There
it.
you go.
Wow.
Smoke it looks. Now let's see.
It's a nice looking good. See, that's good.
Okay, it's
I don't think we need to put a lot of cream, Michael. What do you think? Can you please cut it up? Then just cut it.
so it's kind of easy how to cook a mushroom soup. Very easy, like ABC, right?
It is ABC.
But it's whether you want to do it or not, right?
Yes. You have time to do
Yes,
it.
got it.
So now, we switch on the fire. This is to do the seasoning. So this is a very important part now. To look at the consistency, the taste, everything that's when it comes in. So we need to taste it first.
Can you work on the water? Thank you.
Yeah. See, being a chef, you make sure you clean as you go along, so that you'll be so messy.
Yeah, your chopping board has to be
Yeah.
very clean. It's all about hygiene as well. Yeah. Wow. Simple and delicious.
Now, shall we let her do the tasting?
Give it a spoon.
Please. Ooh, that's too much. There's no
Very
cream.
hot. It's very, very hot.
Salty enough.
Yeah, the salt, the taste, it's fine with me.
Okay. I trust your taste, but now we put a little bit more cream.
Yeah, a bit more cream will do.
Okay, that should
And
be
this
done.
salt wise, maybe a bit of a slightly pepper. Yeah, nice. You,
There we
being
go.
a chef, the expert, yeah, you know, you can taste as well. But I
So-
think to me this is good enough.
Pepper enough, salt
A bit
enough.
more. Salt is
Little
good.
bit.
Yeah, a bit more pepper. Done.
Oh, now she's studying us.
You know, that's the beauty about this cooking show, yeah? It's not just an intro to share our recipes, but it's also you, our esteemed guest, gets two professional chefs to cook, specifically for you, for a moment in the afternoon.
To prepare pasta.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
Imagine you invite us to cook in your house. Wow.
Wow.
That is something, isn't it?
That's a plan. That's a plan. Okay, now you rasa pula.
Okay. How's it, son?
I'm okay with the salt, but maybe you might want it to be a
The salt is good. You're absolutely right with that. My preference is a bit more creamy. I like it creamier.
Because based on diet, so that's why yeah.
Okay. But we are going to add a bit more cream later on as a garnishing, so you have
Yes.
that white strip on top.
Okay.
I think
So
that
this
should
is
be
more
sufficient.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can become a chef then.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
You are a chef.
Right, anything I can become a chef. Yours.
Now we're going to serve this. There you go.
You want to plate it beautifully. Could you get me olive oil? Put it in the.
Olive oil. Yes, we still have some.
Cheesecake. Jack.
Yeah.
Ini kita tak pakai. Thank you.
Stand by. Here we go again. Boleh? Get in position. Record. And action.
Right now, it's time to plate. Just gonna bring the soup bowl over here. Get a final stir.
There is many variation in serving mushroom soup. Some you can put crouton, some you can put truffle oil, some you can put just cream to it.
I would usually put truffle oil in this dish, but the next dish we're gonna make has truffle oil in it.
I see.
So we don't want to mash it up too much. So this is perfect. Look at that nice consistency. Onto the plate. So you can eat it just like that, of course, but just to dress it up a little bit, I'm going to use
Bit of the olive
A
oil.
little bit of olive oil, just as a dressing.
And the cream, I make sure that no dripping to in the wrong place.
This one, you want to go as close as you can to the surface. Cannot like this. Not this one. Sorry.
Kanan. Satu. He wants to.
Imran.
You can taste the mushroom, yeah? That's what